So you guys see the title of the video, and I thought I should take a decent trip to the past. There have been a lot of great NBA players, a lot of great college players, but nobody on anything seems to talk about some of the most exciting high school basketball players and maybe even athletes of all time. But of course, that's what I'm going to be giving you today. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, of course, starting off with the first one of the most exciting, I'd say, trios in high school basketball, and that is the Ball brothers. Now, 2015 through 16, Chino Hills was ridiculous. You had Lonzo, LaMelo, LiAngelo, and they all played on the same high school team. Actually, LaMelo ended up reclassing himself in order to play with his brothers as a freshman. They went 35-0, absolutely mopping the floor with national champions as a public school that had very limited resources. Of course, the most famous player out of this group, at least at the time, was Lonzo Ball. Lonzo, in that high school season, averaged 23, 11, and 11, a triple-double, along with 2 blocks and even 5 steals, and became an All-American at UCLA in the next season. Of course, prayers. Hopefully, Lonzo can find a way to resume his career. I know that the knee injuries have really bugged him over his NBA career, and I just hope and pray that we can see Lonzo back on the court. The guy used to be so good at UCLA. Of course, LaMelo that year averaged 16 points as a freshman that season and is now an NBA All-Star. Of course, he suffered an injury of his own, so prayers up to him. And LiAngelo, he ended up getting a shot at UCLA, the same college that his oldest brother Lonzo went to, after averaging 33 points per game in his senior season. What most people don't know is that LiAngelo was actually the leading scorer on most of these teams. However, he did end up getting into some legal trouble at UCLA during the offseason, so hopefully he'll get a job in the NBA soon. But for right now, he's the only brother that has not really played actively in the NBA at a consistent pace up this point. Of course, this team, the Chino Hills team, also had Eli Scott and Onyeka Okongwu. Both of those names should probably be familiar. I know Onyeka Okongwu plays for my Atlanta Hawks, and as you can see by the background, I am probably the biggest Atlanta fan in all of history, so I'm very aware on who Onyeka Okongwu is. However, moving to the next player, you can't have a high school list of any sort without this guy on it, and that guy's name is LeBron James. Can you have any basketball list that doesn't involve LeBron James on it? I don't think so. The guy was deemed the chosen one as a sophomore in high school. He played at St. Vincent St. Mary's with his best friends, averaging 25, 7, and 6, and 4 steals, and winning 3 state championships in the process. Now, what a lot of you also know is that LeBron was a 2-sport athlete. For the first couple of years of his high school career, he actually played football. This guy in one season had 42 catches for 752 yards and 11 touchdowns. The guy was an absolute freak. Imagine being in your math class, being a cornerback or a linebacker, and figuring out that the guy you're facing up and going against and going to have to guard is a 6'9", 250-pound demigod who happens to be one of the best basketball players in the entirety of the nation, and you're going to have to guard that guy. Yeah, not going to be a great experience. I know if I had to guard LeBron in high school, I'd probably be absolutely toasted. But either way, LeBron James was arguably the most hyped NBA prospect of all time. He went on to become the first overall pick, getting drafted for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The rest is history. The guy's a 4-time MVP, a 4-time champion, the all-time leading scorer, and for a lot of people, he will go down as the greatest basketball player to ever live. Safe to say, the dude lived up to the hype. However, going to another guy who lived up to the hype and made your prayers up, he did lose his life in 2020. Still a tragedy, but I'm here to celebrate his illustrious career starting from high school, and that guy's name is Kobe Bryant. Lower Merion High School was once again one of the most hyped teams in all of high school basketball when Kobe Bryant was there. The dude was a one-man wrecking crew. He averaged 30, 12, 6, 4 steals, and 4 blocks as a shooting guard in high school. The guy was viewed as the best high school player ever by some people in the nation. Now, a lot of people think he's the best ever to live right now. The dude won 4 straight state titles when he was in high school. Of course, he went on to be drafted by the Hornets with the 13th pick. Then he would be traded to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. And yeah, the rest is history. The guy is likely the greatest Laker of all time. He became a 1-time MVP, which in my opinion is debatable because there's no way Kobe Bryant should only have 1 MVP award and Steve Nash have 2. Although, respect to both players. He is a 5-time champ. He's one of the greatest players ever to lace up. Of course, Black Mamba, we miss you. We miss you and your daughter and everybody else who unfortunately lost their lives in that tragic accident. But he's one of the best high school players ever, and I believe his daughter would ended up being one of the best players ever at her sport in the WNBA as well. Now, of course, going to the next player, a lot of you guys are very familiar with this dude. Unfortunately, injuries have pretty much derailed for at least the first part of his career, but this guy's name is Zion Williamson. Now, do you guys remember when Duke landed 3 of the top 4 rated players in the nation? They not only had Zion, they had RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish in one class. Of course, all these guys went on to be top 10 picks in the NBA the very next year. But Zion, he was not number 1 of his class. RJ Barrett was actually number 1, fun fact. But he was definitely the most hyped player. The guy had a mixtape of crazy dunks, and he was 6'6", 250 plus pounds, moving like a guard. The man averaged an absurd 36 and 11 on his way to 3 straight state titles. The guy was straight up amazing in high school, and in college he went on to actually be the National Player of the Year at Duke and was the undisputed number 1 overall pick. He ended up going to New Orleans, and yeah, things haven't quite played out all correctly. But you can say that when Zion's on the court, he is one of the best players in the league. He spent 1 year. He went number 1 in the draft. I really, really hope Zion can figure it out with his health and injuries, because if he does, you're looking at possibly a generational talent here. Zion has actually missed a whole lot more games than he's played. But when he's on the court, he is no doubt one of the best players in the entire NBA. Now, of course, going to our last guy, a guy that is probably overlooked by a lot of you. But this dude should not be overlooked by a lot of you because he was a 2-sport athlete and he could have possibly gone professional in both of these sports. That guy's name is Allen Iverson. So I know you guys that are probably a little bit younger probably won't know who Allen Iverson was in high school and just how incredible he was in high school. But this dude is quite possibly the best high school athlete all around of all time. Starting off, the dude scored 948 points in high school in basketball. He broke Moses Malone's record, which stood for a very long time. But, of course, Allen Iverson superseded that record by over 50 points. Now, he was a National Basketball Player of the Year. And he was also a National Football Player of the Year. He played 5 positions in football, including quarterback, running back, and even the safety. He was one of the best high school football players in the entire nation, and he was actually probably more highly recruited to play football, at least at the beginning of his high school career, than he was to play basketball. Now, during Allen Iverson's 3rd season, he led both the football and basketball team to state championships. The dude was just a full-on talent. Just imagine you have a 6'0", probably closer to like 5'9", but a 6-footer who's 165 pounds. You have to face him on the basketball court. He drops 30 points on your head. And then you remember that's the same guy from earlier in the season that you played on the football field who torched your team for 300 total yards and 7 touchdowns. Yeah, Allen Iverson was just that good. Now, he chose basketball as his path, and I mean, you can't say he made a wrong choice. He went 1st overall in the draft. He became one of the best scorers and most polarizing players of all time, and the guy was just straight up electric. Now, if Allen Iverson messed around and played football, he probably would have been Mike Vick before Mike Vick even existed, and probably before we even knew about him. Let's just be honest here. But you can't say he made the wrong choice. If that dude would have played football, he would have been amazing, but he was equally amazing in basketball. Major props and respect to Allen Iverson. In my opinion, you can call him the best high school basketball player and probably the best high school athlete to ever live, or you could at least make that case. But, of course, that's going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. And, of course, I'm going to wrap this up. I wish you nothing but the best. Stay loved, stay blessed. I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching.